Well, hi there and greetings from me, Rodney P. And today let's talk about how to break free from the matrix, from the world system that is dragging us along in a current in a direction we don't necessarily want to go, and how we can break free from that to live the kind of lifestyle that we would like to live. And let's make this really practical. I'm going to start off by relating a story that I was just reading about a guy called Justin and a couple of his friends who were in Costa Rica, and they went up into the mountains in Costa Rica where there was a waterfall, and they wanted to go for a swim in the pool at the foot of the waterfall. And what they didn't realize was that as the waterfall came down, the stream didn't flow straight down from the waterfall. It actually went up against a rock bank and then took a right-hand turn and to go down the river. So as the force of the water hit the wall, it actually created a current that went downwards. And when Justin jumped in, he got forced up against that rock wall by the force of this water coming down the waterfall, and he started getting dragged underneath the water by the force of that current. Now we know that currents can be pretty powerful. And when we get into a current, it's not necessarily easy for us to get out. In South Africa, down on the southern point of South Africa, we've got two currents. One comes down the west coast of Africa, the other one comes down the east coast of Africa. And on the southern part of Africa, these two currents actually cross, one inside, more on the land side, the other one more on the seaside, flowing in different directions. In fact, if you go in a boat, just where those two currents cross or flow next to each other, you can put in a temperature gauge or thermometer on the one side of the boat, and you will get a temperature a good few degrees different from the other side of the boat, which is in the other current. And if you are on the one side of the current, you will be taken in one direction. If you are on the other side of that divide, you will be taken in completely different direction, 180 degree different. So these currents are powerful things. And you know, life is sometimes like that. Life carries us on with currents, and sometimes we think, oh, well, I can just turn around and I can fight against that. Well, some of those currents you're not going to be able to fight against. I remember in the book of Acts, Paul was told that it's hard to kick against the goads. Now, what's a goad? A goad was a sharp-pointed stick that they used to prod animals as they herded them in those old days. And you couldn't turn around and easily kick against those goads because you'd injure yourself against those sharp points. Now, this is what is happening very often with most people in life. We are getting into a current, we are getting into a tide, we are being driven with goads to go in a certain direction. Most of us in the Western world, for sure, have been told, study hard, get a qualification, get a good job, work hard at the job. You will be successful as you work hard at that job. And most people are being forced in that direction by that current, by that opinion. And what we're being taught by our parents and their parents and their parents. And it's a traditional thing that has been handed down. Unfortunately, the reality is that most people are living what we can term the 40-40-40 lifestyle, which means you work for 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then you retire with 40% of the salary or income that you had before you retired. Now, most people are battling before they retire to come out on the income that they've got, and all of a sudden they've got 40% of that income. In fact, if you look at statistics going around the world, you will find that the vast majority of people, I've seen statistics of 90 to 95% of people around the world do not have enough money to retire on. So what is this current that we've been forced into, that we are being goaded into, this 40-40-40 lifestyle, which is forcing most people to end up in a retirement age where they cannot support their lifestyle that they are accustomed to, and that is actually very sad. Now, the question is, are you caught up in that current? Are you caught up in that lifestyle? Now, the vast majority of people are going to have to answer yes to those questions. And my question is there a way out of that? And fortunately, yes, there is. When Justin jumped into that water in Costa Rica and got forced up against that bank, fortunately one of his friends, Dave, was a strong swimmer and a strong guy, and he jumped in and managed to pull Justin out and throw him up onto the rocks on the side, and then he managed to get out by himself. So where he could have been dead, he was saved by somebody who jumped in and offered him a different opportunity, a different way of doing things, so that he could get out of that tide, out of that current, which was taking him down no return path. So if you're in that boat and you've been carried along in that 40-40-40 lifestyle, if somebody offered you a way that you could get out of that, would you be interested? I'm sure you would, right? And if I can show you a way to help you get out of that current, I'm again sure that you would be interested, right? Well, fortunately, just like Dave could help Justin get out of that current and save him from what could have been death at that stage, there is a way that you can get out. The question is, do you want to break free from that 40-40-40 lifestyle? And I'm sure your answer would be, yes, I'd love to. Well, I've got good news for you. Down below this video, you will find a link. Click that link, and I'll show you how you can break free from that current, how you can break free from the matrix and live and enjoy the kind of lifestyle that you've always dreamed about. So click that link below, and I'll see you on the inside. Cheers.